Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life.
To another episode of Next to Madison. I am your host, Madison Malloy, and on this episode, I am sitting down with two amazing comedians that are currently working on a very inspirational film. They will tell us about this film. It's got some great names in it, and more importantly, an amazing, amazing inspirational message because which I'm happy to share on this podcast because we are the podcast that makes you happier, healthier, and wealthier. Stan was a little bit shaky with his audio, but you can just pay attention and you'll be able to understand everything that he's saying. We talk about not only comedy, we talk about amazing moments at the historic Comedy Cellar. We talk about health, how that is so important. Obviously, their film and proper planning. Proper planning goes to everything in success, whether it is comedy, being on Wall Street, being a great teacher, and eating healthy. Whatever it is, proper planning is going to be one of the keys to success and your mindset, which we talk about as well. So this is a fun interview. You're going to want to listen and maybe even take some notes because there's a lot of inspirational things in here. So we'll be right back after this brief message with our guest on Next to Madison.
Hey, it's Madison Malloy. I just wanted to remind you to make sure you grab a copy of my book, Time to Lighten the Fuck Up. It is a great, funny self-help book that is going to help you get out of your own way. I have already helped thousands and thousands of people, and they are on their way to living their dream life, and I want every listener to be able to live their dream life as well. So grab a copy of the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or even the audiobook on Audible. Now back to the show.
All right, we are back with our two amazing guests to talk about their upcoming film. I am Maurice. I've got Wil Slyvince with us, who is a very amazing comedian and actor, and producer Stan Nelson. How are you, gentlemen?
It's Stan Neron.
Oh, Stan Neron. Okay, Stan Nelson. Oh, well, I'm glad you corrected me. Thank you.
And I'm Wil Slyvince, and that's in case people are watching.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, hey, well, I think your names are showing up. So at least people can see it when they're not listening to the audio and watching the YouTube. So congratulations on an upcoming film called I Am Maurice. Tell us about the inspiration for this story.
It's so many parts of my life was inspired by this film. Like I started boxing later on, and I fell in love with boxing. Then my dad's story of coming from Haiti with nothing and building his entire life here with his family in America from Haiti. And just to tell the story about a Haitian story that we rarely see in theaters. So that's just some of the inspirations.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And so can you tell us a little more about what the film's about?
So this guy, two best friends, they live in Haiti, and they had this dream of coming to America to pursue their boxing, their career in boxing and their love for boxing. And they had this crazy idea of like helping Haiti via boxing by becoming the champions in America. And in that way, America will hopefully help Haiti the way, Bob Marley did for Jamaica, Bruce Lee did for China, and so forth. And then one of them didn't get to make it, so the other one comes and hoping to keep that dream alive and never giving up. So it's more about his fight outside the ring than inside the ring. Facing homelessness, facing acceptance, being an immigrant, trying to fit into the boxing world, trying to find a trainer.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Few obstacles.
Yeah, because it's a very inspirational story, which is what the world needs. We all need hope and inspiration, and so congrats on that. That's amazing.
Thank you. And if you replace boxing with anything else, it works for anybody. Whether you're a seamstress, you're a singer, or you're a plumber, it's just about if you're passionate about something, and you're finding any means necessary legally, for the most part, to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you real quick, what are some obstacles that you've faced in your life that you've been able to overcome?
Well, number one, being Haitian. I got bullied a lot when I was in school coming up. And so for a good part of my life, I used to go around telling people I was Jamaican. And so then I had to, pretend I was Jamaican, and just because they didn't give any Haitians any love for so long.
Why do you
So
think?
then I learned to accept who I am later on, and the hell with everybody else if they don't like who I am. I shouldn't have to bend my truth for your comfort.
Very well said. Absolutely. And why were people when you were growing up so against you being Haitian?
um, there's so many things. I mean, it can get deep. I just feel like since we're the first free Black country on this side of the world, a lot of powers that be try to stop it, try to stop the spread of the rise of this Black community, so other Black communities didn't get inspired, other slaves didn't get inspired to like rise up against their oppressor. So
interesting.
They created a lot of lies and faults. And one example, like after Haiti beat the French got together with all the other countries to force Haiti to pay a freedom tax so they could be free. Imagine if slaves in this country had to, when they get their salary check, there was a freedom tax to be free. And that was only discovered in 2010 when the earthquake struck Haiti.
Really?
It was, a lot of people didn't know about it, so it got a lot of light when the earthquake hit.
Wow.
I mean, you look at it, when we talk about, it's kind of like when we talk about here in America, we talk about reparations, but Haiti immediately had France reparations for its freedom, and when you talk about why were we bullied, being of Haitian descent, Haiti has been demonized since the time it got it. So from its religion to its culture to the type of country. I mean, if you hear about Haiti today, they say it's the Western Hemisphere. So everybody says, oh my God, that little terrible little island in the jungle nobody realizes that Haiti has beautiful beaches. Haiti has beautiful natural resources. Haiti is called the Pearl of the Caribbean. Nobody knows that story.
Hold on, Stan.
Yeah.
Is it me? Your sound is going in and out.
Yeah.
If you hear it, Madison, then I'm good. But
yeah. No, I can hear them, but there's some words that will kind of go in and out. So
yeah.
No, I mean that's really well said. Because
there was another time when Reagan had stopped letting Haitians in the country because he said they were bringing AIDS in the country. Because America wanted answers and they wanted solutions for the AIDS epidemic, and so the only one of the solutions were, it's the Haitians, they bring AIDS to this country, so stop letting them in the country.
Oh my gosh. I mean, well, so it's great with this film. Not only is it inspirational, but it's does it tell the story to educate more people about kind of what went on with Haiti?
A little bit. It just mostly touched on this person's path, struggles, travels of just trying to make it and is passionate about something and trying to not give up and not let the obstacles stop them.
Yeah, no, and that's it's such a great message. And you guys have quite a cast in this film. Can you talk about them?
The cast is still, we're still working on the cast, but fortunately, I got people like Chris Rock and Leslie Jones that just want to be an extra. So they're not like they don't have a big role, but they just agreed to support the film by being an extra in the film. We had started sorry.
What was it? You had started what?
Oh, we had started a Kickstarter campaign, and the goal was to raise $101,000 to help us get it going. And Chris Rock and Leslie Jones were two of the people that one of the incentives was you get to be an extra in the film, and they selected that so they could help out. The purpose why it was $101,000 is because when France gave the Statue of Liberty to America, they gave it without a stand. So I believe the governor or the mayor of New York City started the very first crowdfunding for a stand, and they were able to raise $101,000 back then. And so, the Statue of Liberty represents where all the immigrants come in and get accepted here. So that's one of the connections with $101,000 Statue of Liberty.
Okay, that's very interesting. And obviously, you guys are raising a lot more because it's going to take more to film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And so, how much of the film is going to be shot in Haiti?
Maybe a third, 1/3.
Okay.
I actually want to go to Haiti and employ Haitians and show some of the beautiful beaches and scenes and people in Haiti. I don't want to shoot it there, even though I know it's a little crazy right now to go there. But the goal is to go there and capture a lot of the beauty in Haiti, because a lot of times when they show Haiti, they just show the destructive parts, the bad parts.
Yeah, they do, because they don't want people to go there, which is that why they do it?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's along the same lines of just putting a bad press on Haiti because this little group of Black people was able to beat the big white.
Yeah, that's just so crazy. That still goes on today.
Oh yeah. I mean, look what's going on in Florida. You're sorry, go ahead, Stan. I apologize.
And it's a mentality, I mean, it's a mentality not only to the global community, but people in Haiti. We think that Haiti isn't good enough because of what they told us and what they said. So part of this film is really to empower the people, let them know that there's great value and great resources in Haiti. You matter, right?
Yeah.
And we have to remember, remind ourselves that, because when you look at the impacts, everybody has one of the great things about the human condition, if you can understand what PTSD does to somebody, PTSD traumatizes us, right?
Yeah.
And being through what we went through, we have to be reminded that we're still recovering, we're still going through things, and we have to redefine ourselves, reclaim our history and our culture, because one of the things that demonize Haiti, and we go back to the bullying issue or why people don't want to go to Haiti, they've demonized even the religion, right? The religion is called Doom, right? That's the original name for it, but we call it. That's an original religion, an original African religion that was never aligned with devil, right? But when you look at the rainbow, when Serpent and Rainbow came out, I guess in the late 80s, early 90s, it was all about, this is what Haiti's all about, and to come out with a film like I Am Maurice, it really shows perspective that the people do more than that. It's not about the religion, but it's about the resilience that we talk about of the willingness to survive and be great and do wonderful, really more than just what they stereotypically typecast it as,
Yeah.
So part of this story, I think, will change the people when it comes to Haiti and to Haitian people themselves, and I think that's one of the biggest goals that we have.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely brilliant. It's going to be so inspiring, and no, I think that's awesome. So, what were some other obstacles that you guys have faced in your life that you've overcame, and to leave people with inspiration?
I'm not sure if this is one, but my parents wanted me to be like a doctor or engineer.
Yeah.
And I was always into the arts or stand-up comedy or acting. And so I had to I went to school for electromechanical engineering. I was building robots, got my degree in, but then I had to hide being a comedian behind my parents' back for a long time. Until one day my brother was like, "Yo, Mom saw you on TV." And I'm like, "Oh man." And the thing is, it was the Apollo, and it came on like Saturday, 1 o'clock in the morning. My mother's not up at that time, and she's up. She's watching, like, listen to a Haitian radio station, or you know. And so the fact that she was up and then she saw me, I was like, my heart was racing. I went to the house, and in the living room was all her friends, like 7 of her friends in the living room talking. And I walked in, and they all stopped talking, and they point at me. Is that the comedian there? And then my mother said, with a big smile on her face, was, yes, that's my show. And and just, it was accepted now that I was on TV.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's probably a good advice for comics whose family doesn't necessarily support them, so they don't get the negative feedback and they can stay in a high vibration, is wait till you're on TV, and then they'll be like, oh, yeah, you made the right decision. I'm glad you did that.
Great.
Well, also from their point of view, they didn't think you could make money or make a living doing this, and where they're from is like, lawyer, doctor, engineers. That's the high money paying skills.
Yeah.
And it requires a lot of education, because my dad always preached about how important education is. And so what a better way to get the most education and also get the most money, bang for your buck, bang for your education, as possible.
Yeah. No, so how long did it take you when you started, from the time you started comedy to make your first TV appearance?
Oh, I think maybe like 3 years. It was like,
oh, that's
3 or
quick.
4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really quick. And you've been doing this 20 plus years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're a regular at the Cellar in New York. You travel all around. You've done numerous television appearances. Are you happy with your career?
Yeah, I'm never content, but I'm happy that, I'm making a living, paying my bills with this, and not part of the matrix.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. I know it's become more of the matrix has become more of a relevant term ever since COVID. People are like, wait, am I in the matrix? Am I trapped in the matrix? Maybe I should reevaluate my life. No, but you set out to accomplish a goal, and you did it, and you've been wildly successful. But I like that word that you used. I'm happy, but I'm not content. I think contentment can derail a dream very quickly. I think you always have to be striving for more.
Yeah, and like, I never want to be like, I feel like there's no finish line to my passion. Just like health. I feel like, I think a lot of reasons why people fail in, like, losing weight, because they look at it as like there's a finish line. They'll do a crash diet. They'll lose a lot of weight. Like, yes, I made it. No, you like, it's a lifestyle. It's a not never ending, movement. And you got to, it's just like, oh, I got married. I got my wife. All right, now I gotta get some other girls. No, marriage is forever.
That's it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And how about you, Stan? What are some obstacles that you've overcome in your life that you've been able to get past?
I guess there's so many. Just, I guess, being the child of an immigrant coming into the country, and just having to, I was born here, but my parents were from Haiti. We spoke Creole at the house, being able to translate school and not really space for English first to really learn was a lot of struggles. And, we talked about, being, we all went through the same thing, especially if you were a child of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We were all labeled the African booty scratchers, we do voodoo. So, I mean, overcoming the social injustice that was done was amazing. But, I guess when you come to a space in your life where you get to know who you are and whose you are, and you understand, you have knowledge of yourself, you become so confident you're able to accomplish all. I got to a point where even in high school, I was almost murdered my junior year in high school when I went to go.
Oh my gosh!
I wanted to go to college, and I was so excited about going to college. and this is the story of your parents, right? The doctor, lawyer, and then the guidance counselor said, well, you're not that good in school, and you're like a B, C average. Can't get into college is slim to none. And it was very depressing because I had to go. I said to myself, how am I going to tell my parents I can't go to college? And I never did. Basically, I always tell people, you are who you surround yourself with. You are your net. Your network is your net worth.
100%.
People that you keep around you is who's going to make or break you, right? And I had a lot of different crowds I could have aligned myself with, but I had a group of people that were really aspiring and they wanted to go to college, they wanted to do great things. And they said, look, don't give up, go back and try and ask the counselor. And fortunately, when I went back to school and I asked the counselor, she wasn't there. I got another counselor who happened to be an African-American counselor. She said to me, don't listen to what apply to every school you want to go to. Applied, and I got accepted to every single college that I applied to. And I never looked back from there. That was a huge,
amazing.
And ended up doing so many great things in my life and in the entertainment industry for over 20 years and doing a lot of different things. Entrepreneur, politician, and now producing film, and it'll be a second film that I'm producing. So it's been a great journey so far.
Yeah, well, congratulations. I like what you said. Yeah, who you surround yourself with, your network is your net worth, because, it's so true. And, to really kind of break that down, right? Are you around people that are talking about problems, or are you surrounding yourself around people who are talking about opportunity? And you're going to have more opportunities if you're always talking about opportunities and not, your problems. So very, very well said. Yeah, and Wil, you seem to surround yourself with a great network.
I try to. I try to keep, positive people around, people with not necessarily don't have to be like-minded, but at least we're positive and we're progressive, and people that I could learn from, because you never want to be absolute in your mind state. You want to be open-minded to many things and ideas and stuff. So yeah. That's one of the things I learned, and try to keep those same type of people around. I'm not good with words, but something like that.
Yeah. No, and I like the open-mindedness, because I feel like, as we go through our journey of life, we're constantly learning and we're constantly evolving. And, today with everything going on, you have people that are so closed-minded. They don't want to talk to the other people if they don't agree with them, but we're doing ourselves a disservice by not being open-minded and learning from people who've had different experiences and different upbringings, and whether success or struggle. It's very well said, because that's the only way we grow as a society. It's to learn from each other.
Right. I mean, one of the biggest blessings mankind ever can have, besides women, is our mind, is our brains, allowing us to, unlike animals, is there's just survival, hunt, survival, eat, and reproduce, where we get to grow and evolve and think differently, and not be structured in one way of thinking.
Yeah. And so do you guys, speaking of the mind and thinking, are you guys both into, do you do vision boards and law of attraction and manifestation stuff?
I don't do that shit, but No, I don't. Go ahead, Stan.
No, I mean, those things really work, attraction. I mean, some people, many people do it subconsciously and don't realize it. When you keep speaking something into existence, it comes to reality, right? I always tell people the tongue is very powerful. Watch what you say. If you speak negativity, come to fruition. If you speak positivity, that will come to fruition. And when I speak to young people and I speak to students, I always tell them, write it down. Whatever vision and goal that you have, write it down and keep writing and keep reading it to yourself, right? That are written by comedians, and yourself and Wil, right? You guys, you go over your jokes, and you have to get better and better and better. Next thing you know, hit, right? Or the present will live it much better. It's the same thing with the goals that you have in your life. You keep getting there, and I believe that, you got to write it down and make it plain. It becomes a reality in your life.
Yeah, no, it's very well said. So do
I,
you write your goals down, Will?
um, yes, I agree with Stan about writing your stuff down. You know, everybody has their own method and system. It's good to always, you know, update that system and method and make it a better system for yourself. Because it's one thing to have it in your head. You know, so many people have so many ideas. It's in their head. The first thing you should do is at least put it down on paper, or as I call digital paper, like on a digital notepad, because you could manipulate that idea. You could insert, you know, when you write on a pen and a paper, you can't search for things. You can't insert. If a fire happens, or if you lose it, you know, there it goes. So, you know, get it down on some digital format,
Yeah.
and then keep, you know, maybe 5 minutes a day. Keep adding to that idea. Keep, you know, open that note, and what can you add to it? And next, you know, I gotta. Let me show you my notes. These are like all the notes that I taken. You see, just been writing notes. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on.
Wow. And
And
a
then,
lot of those jokes?
no, these are so many ideas. These are so many jokes. I wouldn't be here if there's all was jokes. No, these are just a bunch of ideas, whether it's a book idea, or I'm still into the tech world, meaning like I have some inventions I came up with, you know, and I'll maybe hopefully one day get them out. I came up with this idea a long time ago, but I think me talking about it on the radio years ago, some other companies hop onto it. But you know, solar panels.
Yeah.
So I had this idea of solar panel, solar power paint. So it's basically like panels, but liquid paint, and you can paint your house. And so now you don't have to depend on the sun being in one spot. No matter where the sun is, your house could absorb the energy no matter where the sun is. You know, that was one of the ideas.
That's a great idea. Did that ever come out?
Yeah, this company in Australia, I heard. So I came up with that idea. 1994. Yeah, I'm pretty old. And I just heard about an Australian company working on a similar idea in 2016, I believe.
Okay. Well, so next time you have a brilliant idea, don't mention it on the radio. Go talk to some
Yes.
people, have them sign an NDA, because you could be because if you had done that, you might have a yacht with a big breasted woman on the front like Jeff Bezos. Do you see that? That like
So I know
monogram statue of her.
I know what kind of girls you like, Madison.
Yeah. Well, you know, like attracts like. I got big boot, you know. I'm just kidding. That's great. Yeah. So it's like your mind's always got to be thinking, and you're always thinking of ideas and opportunities because you're around people that are doing that as well. So I think that's very important. So a lot of people that are listening, not necessarily based in New York, they're based all over, but everybody kind of knows the iconic Cellar. So I want you to share some of your favorite experiences that you've had performing there, because that's like the cream of the crop for a comedian, is perform at the Cellar.
Oh yeah, the Cellar, the Comedy Cellar is such an amazing place. To me, it's like a comedy festival without the festival. You know, there's so many different type of shows, whether it's like the regular shows that they have there with amazing comedians, amazing talent, versus all the one person shows, or produced shows by promoters or producers. Or so many comedians shot their special there. There's so many great moments I had there. I started a night called New Joke Night. Basically, it's a night where comedians just come up there and try out new jokes without having to worry about, a lot of times to do new jokes on our regular show, we'll do like an old joke to get the crowd going, and then we'll go to the new joke, see how it goes. Whereas this night is like, there's no need for that. Just come out there. The crowd knows what's going on, and they're with it. And so many comics came through there. The big names, of course, like Chappelle, Rock, Amy Schumer, Craig Robinson. Shout out to Craig Robinson. to nights where like there's nights where me and Cypress Sounds, we have a show called The Chemistry Set on Wednesdays where we just like to, it's more than just stand-up comedy. It's like a fun show where he and I and another comic just, we just go off the rails. They're just talking. It's like, like a fun podcast, kind of a live fun podcast type of show.
Yeah.
And then there's nights when people drop in, like Kevin Hart, Louis C.K., Amy Schumer, Chappelle, and they just drop in. And there's nights when all of them drop in at one time, which is freaking. There was a night, it was Aziz Ansari, Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, and who else? I think Bill Bellamy. And they all on the same stage. Crowd is going crazy. And the jokes are coming so fast. It's insane. Like you'll never see a show like that anywhere. Not for no $24, you won't.
No. Well, that's why the line is always out the door, because people, you just never, you're going to see the lineup that's on the website, but you just never know what's going to happen.
Right. And even if none of those comics pop in, the show is still an amazing lineup of comedians you never heard of.
Well, yeah.
Just amazing talent.
Yeah, because it is the hardest club to get past at.
Yeah.
You really have to bring your A game, and I like that new joke night, because, when I was doing more comedy, it was hard to try out new material because you couldn't do it on shows that you were paid, because they were paying you to be great, and you had to bring your A game. So you would try to do it on shows that maybe were done by independent producers. But what I found is that you couldn't take the whole time to really flesh out those jokes. So it took longer to come up with that new material. So I think that's just brilliant.
Yeah. And plus you want a good crowd. A lot of those times when you're doing new jokes at some spaces, the crowd is kind of shitty or it's filled with a bunch of comedians. So you don't have a real perspective on how well is that joke doing.
Yeah.
And
how do you feel being a comedian has affected your personal life? Like romance wise, like is it difficult? Do you find it difficult because of there's so many girls, or you're out too much at night?
No, that's not my lifestyle. I don't know. I don't know if I was still building robots, I probably, I'm not on any of these dating apps, so comedy is like my dating app. But I don't even use it to date girls. Like most of the time, it's like I meet people, and I'm just happy that they like my comedy, and I just use that to get them to come out to more shows. So, how it did affect me, I would say my health. I feel like doing stand-up allowed me to be more open-minded. I got to travel around the world a lot. I've been to like Australia, China, Pakistan, to name a few places. And so I got to see people, and I discovered, I learned that how important your health is. The foods that you put in your mouth is so important.
It's the old saying, health is wealth, right? You can kill yourself essentially trying to earn, millions of dollars, and then you get millions of dollars and your health goes away, and you would give all that up just to have your health back. And
how ironic is like also like laughter heals. It's like they and that's just not a phrase. They a few scientists and cases, they reported that they showed laughter does heal. If they, there's always a yin and a yang. If there's stress, so that what's the opposite of stress is laughter. So laughter does make you feel better and heals you a lot, and even sometimes keep you younger.
Well, exactly, because you're enjoying life. Stress is a big ager, and if you can limit that stress, and people will laugh throughout there, days, or if they hear something, they'll kind of laugh. But there's a difference between like a chuckle and like that laughter to where noise comes out of you, where everybody like that's me. Like if I'm really laughing, like I could turn a head. People would be like, "What the hell is that a hyena?" Like, what the hell? But it doesn't happen all the time, thank God. But like if I'm really like, but it's the best feeling in the world when you
Are you a snorter? Are you what do you call people out?
No, but like it just gets really loud to where I'm like, like I've been in the back of comedy clubs, like waiting for my set, and a comedian will say something that like hits me really hard, and the whole crowd will turn around and look at me, and I'm like, I'm gonna go hang out in the green room like, because of my
No,
laughs.
you know what? No, live your life. Forget that. No, enjoy that laugh.
Yeah.
Let other people see what real laughter looks like and sound like.
Yeah, because it and it's the greatest feeling. And I remember thinking, I'm like, gosh, I haven't had like I would call it a belly laugh, like a belly laugh for a really long time. Like I've laughed, but I haven't like.
Right. Yeah, don't suppress those moments, because those moments, like you said, they're far and in between. And so when it happens, don't stop it. You know, it's like stopping a sneeze. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you can't stop a sneeze. So, how do you guys, speaking of health, then, what are some tips for our listeners to stay healthy on the road, like when they're traveling? I feel like when a lot of people travel, whether it's for work or vacation, and this is me, when I step into an airport, I turn into a 13-year-old boy, and I feel that I can eat anything I want to. Snickers bars, Panda Express, McDonald's. Like, I'm like, huh? And I don't eat that way.
Yeah.
I get into the airport, it's like, game on.
The number one thing I would say, my wife happens to be a physical trainer, right? And, she speaks on being prepared, always being prepared for travel, always being prepared for life. So, packing that you need, and just make sure that you're conscious of the food that you take in. So important, many years ago, I became and I started watching, what I eat and what I put in my body, be on the road a lot, just touring and doing a lot of different things in the entertainment business. We would eat really, go to the fast food restaurant and just eat just because we wanted to fill our stuff. But it was a lack of preparation and just thinking that I got to be full or I got to put something in my body. Unhealthy in your body. It's not helping you and it's actually breaking you down. So I would say one of the key things is preparation and really understanding your body, because, everybody's not meant to be a vegetarian, and some people eat and some people shouldn't eat. So, doing a true assessment of your style and of your body and seeing what doesn't. We're all made up differently.
Yeah, no, that's very well said. Because I know when I like don't eat, like if I have a crappy eating day, I feel it. Like I don't feel that great. And when you eat, I've recently been doing a lot of research, and I'm trying currently at this moment to do a 48-hour fast. I'm feeling the pains, but I keep looking back at that video I watched that inspired me of each benefit as you hit certain thresholds of the hours. And I'm like, okay, I'm almost at 19 hours. These are the benefits, but it's tough. It's really tough. Like I'm hurting.
One that I do is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is really good because you don't have to long time, and you just have 2 meals a day. And you time yourself. So, and knowing what you're going to eat when you start eating again and filling yourself up, it's really good. And you just did it right. That drink of water is so essential. We need so much water in our lives.
Well, they say most of us are chronically dehydrated and we don't even realize it.
I tell people like it's 3 things. Like I used to weigh 220 pounds. I dropped like 70 pounds.
Wow.
So what finally did it is like, number one, what do you really want? So I had to ask myself, what do I really want? Living in the gray area doesn't help. So meaning like, do I want to be healthy or I don't? If you don't want to be healthy, that's fine. It's your choice, and don't be, that's cool to go with that choice. But if you want to be healthy, then also understand that it won't be an easy path. And if you fall, it's okay, to mess up and get back on. It's almost like, do you want to be married or you don't want to be married? If you want to be married, then you can't cheat. If you don't want to be married, then you could, what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. So that's number one. Number two, arm yourself with information. educate yourself. Like if you don't want to read, one of the best books on this is a book called Skinny Bitch. I'm not sure if you heard of it. A great book. Or you can watch a few documentaries, Forks Over Knives or the Game Changer. All and you can learn so much about foods and your health. And then the third thing is just start doing it and just give your body time to make that change. It's easy for us to move from here to LA or anywhere versus to change our diet, because we've been eating this way our entire lives. We're used to certain food textures, tastes, smells. And so it's hard to, change is very hard for humans. So you just got to give your body time, your taste buds time to change and be more open to healthier food options, and you may have to go through trial and error, trying different foods. I didn't like that, or.
Yeah, no, it's so true. Like what you put in your body. I had somebody that said something to me a long time ago on the podcast who said, when I eat, instead of just, oh, I'm having dinner or I'm having lunch, it was I'm nourishing my body. And that was the mindset. And so when you go with like that, like, oh, I need to nourish my body, you're not picking up a box of Cracker Jacks. You're probably grabbing something a little healthier.
Yeah, and is making better choices. Like Stan said earlier, the fourth thing is for me is planning. The more you plan, the better you'll eat, the better choices you'll make. So like it's almost like if you get up to go to work and you're trying to figure out what you're going to wear, you're going to take an hour trying to figure out. Versus the night before, you have your clothes set on the bed. You get up, you get out the house so quick because you plan. Same thing with diet and eating. When you plan to eat, and don't let the hunger get to you, because once that hunger comes, once that hunger gets in, you become at mercy to your stomach, and you just want to kill those hunger pangs.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like the old saying, I'm so hungry, the horse. So I'm so hungry, I can eat anything. And literally, that's what your body wants to do. It wants to just eat anything just to fill that void, and without that preparation, you are going to eat,
Yeah. Or have like what I've done is like, if I'm, especially in New York, when you're out walking around, going to a bunch of meetings and stuff, it's like having healthy options in your bag. So you don't stop by a bodega and pick up something that's not great.
A lot of things
What was that?
There's a lot of things that smell good along the way that you'll pick up.
Right.
That's exactly right. There's the pizza, then there's the bagels, and because I've been spending more time in Colorado, so every time I go, when I'm back in New York, I'm always like, I got to get a bagel, I got to get the pizza, and I'm like, probably nah. Maybe every 2 weeks I'll treat myself to that. So before we wrap up, where can do your plugs? Like, where can everybody find you? I'll start with you, Stan.
So I'm at First Republic restaurant in Elizabeth, New Jersey, 1204 East Grand. Happens to be a restaurant that I own, but we host a monthly comedy series there called Funny Business. I'm the host of the show, and I'm there every third Sunday of the month. 1204 East Grand Street in Elizabeth, New Jersey. You can catch me there. And Will?
Love it.
You can catch me at WilSlyvince.com. Also, we plan on raising money for the film via NFTs. So I'll keep people posted on my website, or go to IamMaurice.com. And all my stuff is on there.
Okay.
And check my show out on at the Comedy Cellar year-round. Monday nights, 8:30 New Joke Night, or Wednesday night, 10:30 with Wil Slyvince and Cypress Sounds, or Cypress Sounds with Wil Slyvince.
All right. Well, I love it. And Instagram, they can just find you, Wil Slyvince.
Yep, Wil Slyvince.
And then Stan, are you on the socials?
Yes, I am a Stan for something. So STANN, the number 4 something. SUMTIN.
Okay, I love it. I love it. Well, you guys, congratulations on the new film, and best of luck with finishing all the filming and the fundraising. And I loved having you guys on here because we were able to talk about filming and inspiration, overcoming obstacles, and health. So this was a wonderful episode. So I appreciate you guys coming and taking time out of your day to sit down with me. And everybody who's listening, wherever you may be, we will see you next time to find out who's
Thanks for
next.
Thanks for having me, Madison.
You guys are so welcome. I'm so excited that you guys were here. I'm blessed. And yeah, you guys go follow these guys and look out for their film.
Shout out Lynette Dallas.
Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms, and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@nexttomadison.com. I thank you again for listening. Bye.